Republican strategist Ford O'Connell and Democrat strategist Wendy Osefo. Wendy, has the news cycle, let's talk just about the news cycle, Wendy. Do you feel the news cycle has pulled the left further left and the right further right?
I think that right now, whether it's a news cycle or just what's going on in our political landscape, it has been highly polarized. We're completely divisive as a country. And what we see here is that with Kavanaugh's nomination, we see that the GOP is trying to weaponize Kavanaugh to make it seem as though he is going to be the poster boy for why the GOP is going to win when it comes to the midterms. But that is not a good game plan, because if we look at the facts, 51% of Democrats are going to possibly win in their state. We also see that Heidi Heitkamp, she raised $400,000 within the first 24 hours of her opposing Kavanaugh's nomination. Okay. And we see that the Democrats have a 2% lead when it comes to the midterms. So again, whether or not we are divisive, that is not something that comes to the media, but we have to make sure that we don't continue to ride this into November 6th.
We're just looking, we're looking for the people out there who are trying to unify the country. Republican Senator Rand Paul's wife says she sleeps with a loaded gun due to threats coming from liberals. Remember, members of Congress don't have security detail. Remember that baseball practice where Steve Scalise was shot. Again, where are the calls for unity from both sides? Where's the unity?
Well, I don't know that there are calls for unity. I will say this, though, 28 days out from the 2018 midterms, it is important for Republicans to highlight the violence and intimidation tactics employed by the left, especially for independent voters, as people decide who to give control of Congress and power over. I will say this, though. Look, I think that violence and intimidation, as we saw in the Kavanaugh, confirmation hearings, is a key part of the Democratic playbook, and it's not just the fringe of the Democratic Party. It's actually Hillary Clinton as well. I think that the Democrats are going to actually wind up losing a lot of seats here because of how this has played out over the last several weeks.
Yeah, let's turn to Rich Lowry writing a New York Post op-ed. He's talking about how when the Democrats lose, they want to burn down the House. The latest excuse is to blame the Constitution, blame the Electoral College, blame the U.S. Senate, blame the Supreme Court. All are institutions of villainy now in American life for Democrats. Vox, the media outlet Vox, says the Senate is a, quote, grotesquely unrepresentative body. And E.J. Dionne at the Washington Post said he's saying the ascension of Kavanaugh to the high court is a, quote, coup. It's a coup that he was confirmed by senators representing 44% of the population. Wendy, it's true that the Senate basically the way the Constitution, Electoral College is, it's supposed to give representation to small states. But Rich Lowry is pointing out that, Wisconsin has a minuscule number of House representatives and California has 53. The way that the Democrats look at it is imbalanced and out of whack and not factual. Go ahead.
No, but I think what they're trying to say and what's underneath all of this conversation is that the nomination of Brett Michael Kavanaugh was a complete slap in the face to the American people, and we just have poll numbers to support that. Whether you sit on the right or whether you sit on the left, we see that 51% of people oppose his nomination.
Wendy, hang on a second.
We also see that 58% of women
It doesn't matter.
oppose.
The poll numbers don't matter there.
They do.
No, because President Trump has the right, all presidents forward have the right to select their own Supreme Court nominees. It doesn't matter about the polls. Go ahead, Ford.
The Electoral College and the Senate, and two people from each state representing in the Senate, is not conspiracies against the left. These have been the rules since the late 1780s, and they're written down in the Constitution. This is another case where Democrats don't get their way, and essentially they are misleading, and they're trying to blow the country up.
That's not true, Ford.
All right. Well, Hillary Clinton, Hillary Clinton said we should get rid of the Electoral College and just said it recently. Ford and Wendy, you've been great. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you.